what the dress lounge does. You said that you cater to the moms and the brides. So let's talk a little bit more about that.
So I don't cater to the brides, I cater
Or
to the
sorry, yes,
moms.
moms and the bridesmaids is what I meant.
Bridesmaids, yep, the flower girls and the guests. And so we have three divisions to the dress lounge. So we have the retail side that sells the dresses, and we have the hair and makeup division that does just special events glamming. So we do like up styles or hairstyling and makeup just for special events. So you don't go there to get your hair colored or cut or anything like that, just specialized styling. So our artists are very specialized. So they are all trained in those type of like they've got their degrees in hair or diplomas in hairstyling, and they've got diplomas in makeup, and some of them are even advanced and they've got specialties on top of that. Like for example, they do Halloween, Dedmonton. They're all on board to do all of the costumes, and like they can really do the theater makeup and things like that. Like they'll put horns on somebody and they'll paint them red and make them look like Star Wars people. Like they are super uber talented,
Yeah.
and they are passionate about what they do. So that's the second part. And they operate out of our dress lounge. So we have a dressing lounge, which is kind of a unique concept. It's like a bridal suite.
Mhm.
In some of the venues, they have their own bridal suite. So we have our own bridal suite in the store. So we have the retail side, as you know, where it sells the dresses. And then we have the bridal suite on one part of the store. And then we've also got an online store. And our online store actually allows us the creativity to put different items on that we love. Like working from home right now, the attire is very, very different. So, having guests order their dresses, having, younger people coming in and having summer dresses, looking for something original, unique, not like what you see at every other place. Like we're not your typical store. So we want to have dresses in our retail side, both in store and online, that you can't just buy at the local boutique. You have to come in to see them. So we want to be original and different, and yet approachable, and like have the items that people are like, this is amazing and I have to have it.
Mhm. Mhm. It's awesome.
Dress lounge allows us also to really provide a different experience. The reality, our motto is, you can buy a dress anywhere. Like
Mhm.
you need to, we provide an experience for them instead of like a shopping retail store. It's an experience. So for example, if you use our bridal lounge to get ready in for your big day, the bridesmaids will all come get their hair done. We love it when they use our artists, but that's not required because the focus is on them.
Mhm.
Again, they need to be happy. They need to enjoy their day. They need to have a good experience. They'll have a mimosa bar. They'll have it catered in to have somebody, do a light breakfast for them, or they'll use skip the dishes and have McDonald's breakfast come and come to them. Their vendors, the florists, the photographers, they'll all come to the store. The florist will drop off the flowers in the morning, so they're not having to, put their address into Google Maps and go find them. The moms don't have to worry about going and picking that up. Everything's delivered to the store.
Yeah.
When they get their events catered by, Acapello Catering or Elizabethan or Mercer's, those guys are so fantastic. They'll just come and set everything up the morning before they even get there, and it'll be ready to go. And in COVID times, they have all the COVID packaging and everything set up for them. We also have so many great relationships with industry partners that we can have, things like the Bottled Bronco will bring in their Tipsy Trike, where you can put, a beer keg in them, and you have a beer on tap in the morning. Or, it could be a mocktails. They could put juice in there. They could put, some sort of sparkling water. Like they have every possibility ready to go. And we have these add-on packages just to make that experience even greater. And so the idea is, when brides get married, moms and dads immediately go to, I'm going to have to get my house renovated to have all these people come in because there's going to be photographs and things like that. We're saying, no, 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 let us do that. You don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about getting the house cleaner in. We'll take care of the mess. So you come in, hopefully have some fun and enjoy it. Get your first look pictures. So dad will come in. We'll get all the boutonnieres on. We get the corsages on. We steam their dresses up for them before they go. The limo comes and we usher the bride into the limo and we get all the bags and we put it in the back of the limo for them and off they go. And then we take care of the cleaning and off they go and have go get married. Go get married.
I've actually been reading a book called Start With Why. Are you familiar
Yes.
with Simon Sinek?
I have not read that, but I think Chantel did she not?
She told me she did, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's all about, it kind of gets to the core of what I think you were trying to do when we chatted and you recorded me
Yes.
talking about not what we do necessarily. It does factor into it, but why we do what we do. Why did you open up the dress lounge?
The story comes at a time of my life, and my story is that my daughter Chantel, you met, she got married actually, and so I was mother of the bride, and her husband was beautiful, like just an amazing fellow, and we were very much in love with him, and uh, we had this amazing opportunity to have the wedding of her dreams, and we had a very good family turnout. It was a destination wedding, and shortly after the wedding, he died. So it was heartbreaking because our family was very close. The losing him was probably one of the hardest things that ever happened to our family, and frankly threw a wrench deeply into our family of not dealing with the emotions properly, not getting counseling fast enough, and my daughter Chantel was destroyed, like just destroyed by this, and he died in bed beside her in the middle of the night, and like it couldn't have been a worse situation. And so as a mother, when your child goes through such a traumatic event, you get overprotective, and that's what happened to me. I got extremely overprotective. I mean, we did all the right things in the sense that we put her in counseling, but she came back as broken as you can possibly imagine, not being able to sleep through the night, and not being able to sleep alone. She couldn't be without anybody around her 24/7. Our kids were destroyed in the sense that we were so focused on her. My husband had a heart attack because the grief and the strain. So that was how this all that's the story behind as Chantel got stronger and better. I didn't. And so I was still at the stage of the hovering parent dealing with an adult child who was dealing with her pain and her grief and doing well because the psychologists and sociologists team that she worked with were so amazing, but I didn't do that. So I was stuck still. And what that did is then create a real disconnect in our relationship and our relationship with our other children. So we have two girls and we have two boys together. And I needed to figure out who I was and what I could do to make myself something other than the mother whose daughter lost her husband. And so I'd always said that wedding was like such an amazing event. And we went through the process of, buying the dress. And, I was so excited to be mom of the bride and going to find the dress. And I remember when we were shopping that there was no place for me to actually go. So I ended up in a bridesmaid dress from the place that she bought her wedding dress. And it was fine. It was just fine. But I realized as I reflected back on that process that there really was nowhere to no place that took care of moms, and moms are a pretty big role, especially mother of the bride, mothers of the groom. Sometimes they get to be very involved, sometimes they don't get to be very involved, but they're still the moms, and so there needs to be a place for us to connect. And moms go through a lot of heartache, not just because of my story, but just raising kids is really hard. And so I thought to myself, this is a great place where I can meet fellow like-minded people, not people who would have gone through the same traumatic events that I went to, but just in general, moms, like we could connect. And I really found that to be my saving grace. I never ever in a million years expected to be a store owner. I am a chocolatier as well, and I expected to sell chocolates at markets, like like the flea markets and the markets on Sundays that you go to buy fresh product. That's where I saw myself going as I got older, just having fun with that. Never ever owning a retail store. Never done it before. I didn't even do enough research about it. I said, how hard could this truly be?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It,
So it's definitely given me a real. So why did I do this? Because I needed to. It was a time in my life that I needed this more than it needed me. And as I focused on what this was going to look like, I realized very quickly within the first probably 6-8 months that this was something that was truly a part of the market that had been forgotten about. The bride is so important, and she really is. It's all about her. But all of us spend so much time and energy with her, giving up so much time and energy to give to her. There needs to be a spot or a place also for her. And I realized very quickly that I had something, and I fell in love with it even more. So I needed it. I didn't plan for it. I needed it. And then I just loved it and just went with it. And so we've just been evolving to sort of where we are today, focusing in truly on everybody who loves the bride and all of her support group and her families. And that doesn't just mean moms anymore. Now it means the bridesmaids. It means the little flower girls. We're now getting aunts. We're getting grandmas. We're getting wedding guests who are like, I heard that mom found her dress here and she said, you got to come and check this place out. So it's sort of evolved into this gathering of people who just want to be in a fun place, look great, and share their love for the person who they're the bride. They all want to tell their stories and connect with each other. And we love listening to them. Like, it just makes my heart happy every time I'm there, just listening to them. And just like, I get excited for them each and every time, because I remember my experience with my daughter. And I always say to them, enjoy this special time, because although I don't share my story with a lot of people, I say you don't know if it's your last moments together. Like, you just don't know. I mean, moms, some brides don't have moms, but they have, like, mom figures that are really great to them. Some don't, so I end up being their mom figure to help out with, grandmas or guests or whatever. So yeah. So why did I do this? I did it because I needed it. Crazy.
yeah, that's crazy. But it sounds like it led to a place of passion.
For sure it did. It's created and unlocked something in me that I didn't know I had. For sure, every time I think about, we're here 2.5 years later. I had never expected that would even, I didn't think people were going to come into the door and even come and check us out. And now I can see all the possibilities. Like, this place that we've developed as a team is so great. And every time people come in, we can experience it with them. And I see and I listen and I hear what they're saying, and they express the same gratitude that I felt when I started helping people. They felt the same way of, like, there's a place for me. That's so great. And it's like I don't even know, like, it's just like a gathering spot for people to share their experiences together. It's such a passion now. It's moved from a passion to the point that if I ever wanted to sell it, it would be very, very difficult, because I'm not sure I could let it go, which is the problem with, being so very passionate with the store, right? But
For sure. Now,
mm,
one of the things that I struggled with in coming up with the topic was surprisingly, I've never shopped for a dress before.
right.
So I was actually kind of curious what some of the things that you do to keep on top of trends, because I know that with fashion, trends change and they evolve. So what are some of the things that you guys do to keep on top of those trends?
Well, we obviously watch the market closely, see what girls are, ladies, moms are wanting. At the end of the day, it's different for each category. So for my moms, most of the time, moms are formal gowns have not been a very popular thing until the recent years because moms are always feel like I don't want to, be the highlight of the party or anything like that. I don't want people looking at me. I want to just hide back and, let the glow and shine be on my daughter. And that's absolutely the way moms are hardwired. But the reality is, it's a pretty big accomplishment. So moms are starting to now pay more attention as a result of having stores like us saying, you deserve this. You are important. And so we are looking for gowns. I prefer formal gowns. Our store does definitely do more formal gowns than non-formal gowns. And so floor length, chiffon, you know, not a lot of sequins or bling, but a little bit just to make it, fancy and delicate. That's a classic. That's never going to go out of style. So we bring in a lot of pieces to keep that traditional conservative sort of look alive, right? And then we have moms who are now brave enough to step outside of that. And more importantly, with the support of their brides, with their daughters or their daughter-in-law to be, they are getting the support of them saying, I want you to look amazing and feel special and feel happy. And so we have those moms who are stepping out of that box to say, I'm going to wear a strapless or I'm going to wear a fit and flare or something along those lines. So when it comes to buying moms, we have a little bit of the traditional, a little bit of the classic, a little bit of the trendy. That's more like colors, that more like length, sometimes T length, sometimes knee lengths. And we sort of combine all of those together. With respect to bridesmaid dresses are often like you've got your chiffon, you've got your velvet, you've got maybe some satin dresses, but they're all really, really, the styles always tend to stay very similar. What really changes in bridesmaids is colors. Yeah. So mix and matching, and whether or not, like for color wise, mixing and matching dresses. So we try to bring in as many options for them as possible. We do that with having great lines that actually are dedicated to bridesmaids, lines that are dedicated to mothers of the bride. And those guys are really on point because they do a lot of market research themselves.
Okay.
To be able to show us the options. And so when I'm buying those, I'll look for, see what the color of the year is going to be for next year, because we're always buying a season ahead. So once we know what the color of the year is, we want to make sure we can see what that color is going to look like in dresses. We see, is it a boho sort of style? Is it chic? Is it classic? Is it sleek? Is it elegant? All these sort of styles you can see as they trending throughout the years, what they like and what they don't like. And so we really try to stay on top of those by working with our distributors to get those dresses. And it's a bit of guesswork sometimes too, because what's very fashionable in New York or, London or Paris, those are not Edmonton, Alberta. So even Toronto and Vancouver are, very fashion forward.
Yeah, we're completely different here.
But it's not Edmonton, Alberta. So we really have to bring a little bit of that in and stay with our classic molds. And don't forget, for our moms, for our bridesmaids, the bridesmaid pricing is pretty standard across the industry. You get a bridesmaid dress anywhere from $200 to $400. The more well-known the distributor is, you're not going to pay the same for a Jasmine bridal bridesmaid gown as you are going to be Haley Page or Jenny Wu. All of those dresses are they're beautiful dresses, there's no question about them, but at the end of the day you're paying for that name. And so especially when you're talking about grads and you're talking about moms, you're in a different price bracket. So you're talking grads start at $200 and they max out at about $2,000. So when you're coming in, the average grad dress is between $5,000 and I would say $900. That is an investment in a gown. So these are serious decisions that have to be made by, these girls and their parents. I mean, very rarely do I see the girls coming in and paying for them themselves. It's the majority of them is the parents saying, I want to do the best for my child at the best possible price, knowing that this is a rite of passage. And same with my moms. Like, you want to, when you're putting some significant money down on a mother of the bride dress, and our mother of the bride dresses start at about $100, and they're capped at about $1,200, and on average, it's between $400 and $600 for a dress. When people are spending that kind of money, you damn right you get service for that, and you'd better have quality for that as well. And you better appreciate, as a sales consultant, as a store owner, that consumer is taking a risk on you, and you better appreciate it and do right by them. So it's very important to me that you have those quality products and you provide that service to people who are prepared to invest in you.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's true of hiring a DJ too. I mean, my service
Absolutely.
DJ start at $1,300. So I'm not going to be a guy who just shows up on the day of and says, "Okay, hey, I'm Aaron. I'll be your
Yeah.
DJ." You know,
Press play.
there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes for both of us.
Yes, absolutely. And what I try to do in the store is, for us, is like take away the stress for them.
Mm-hmm.
Be knowledgeable about our products and be able to say to them, I really love this on you, but let's try this, and know and feel and understand our clients. And
That's not the story I was expecting, Sandra. That's amazing. And it kind of,
about that.
no, that's okay. It kind of struck a bit of a nerve with me. I don't talk about it often, but I had a young nephew pass away very suddenly. He's not the reason that I do this, but I mean, your story just kind of struck a little nerve. I'm not going to take that left-hand turn because the soul
Yeah.
into it.
It's hard. Grief is like losing
Hard.
someone so special is the hardest thing. And I'm not sure we'll ever be over it, if that makes any sense.
You never get over it.
Yeah, I guess. And I think about every single person that, like, I look at the brides and they're so happy. And I remember my daughter, and she was so happy. I mean, in fairness, our lives are better because she's now found another person who loves her just as much as her first husband did. They're not married, they're partners, and they're going to have a baby. All the things that she didn't get to do with her, yeah, I mean, it's really great. She didn't get to have that experience with, her husband. And the way that people treat young widows is gobsmacking to me. It's scary to protect her and watch her also at the same time go out and meet new people. And how's anybody going to take this? And her new partner David is, I can't even imagine how this. I can't describe the strength that he has to be able to take on that weight of your partner who's lost her first. So every time he grunts or snorts in his sleep, is he going to die? Is that what's happening? Every time, he doesn't wake up right away or doesn't call her back, I don't know. The panic always sets in. And now we have a baby on the way. And how exciting is that? But the worry constantly that the traumatization from what she experienced never goes away. And it's heavyweight. And for him to be so accepting and so loving and so amazing, I feel very blessed. And life does go on, and you got to remember those things. But in any event, it is what it is.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you just have to
one step into the other.
That is part of your life.
Yeah.
And that's what we did when Connor. It took us a long time. It's been 10 years since the car accident, but it's been a tough 10 years for sure.
Yeah, we are only at 4.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,